Hey guys, it's Josh, Happy Little Landscapes. Today we came back with a 12 by 12 inch canvas, painted this beautiful waterfall way off in the jungle, got the ocean back there, this beautiful kind of sunset pastel-y sky. You obviously want to learn how to paint this painting, that's why you clicked on that link. But before we get started, check down below, very big announcement right here. I'm partnering with Amazon. I have my own Amazon storefront. So if you want to get every single brush, every color, everything that I use to create this painting, click on that link below, order your stuff, and let's get rocking and rolling, and we'll get to it without me blabbing on, because I always do that too much, right? So let's hit it at 1, 2, and 3. Hey everybody, it's Josh back in the studio. Happy Little Landscapes coming at you today with our MagicFly colors. I'll post the link down in the description where you can find these MagicFly colors if you want to get some and paint along with me today. We have our yellow, green, rose, lavender, and that's it for the Bob Ross colors. Let's see, Dark Sienna, Sap Green, Phthalo Green, Alizarin Crimson, Phthalo Blue, Midnight Black, Titanium White, Bright Red, Yellow Ochre, and Cad Yellow. We're going to get started today. We have no idea what to paint. So we're going to kind of make it up as we go along, just like we always do. Painting with Nikolai, back and forth. We go, hey, with the DJ, and then we paint with Nikolai, right? Alright guys, today we're starting with Yellow Ochre and Bright Red. Just going to mix them up right here, right on the 1-inch brush. And we're going to go and make this nice pretty orange color up into the sky, right? Let's say the sky goes, it lives back here. We're going to paint the sky this nice soft yellowy orange color. We've already started with the canvas, the Bob Ross liquid white. Okay, all you want to do, be able to see your fingerprint, right? I'm just gonna make this whole thing up as we go. Like, see how many different voices we can do. Yeah, man, we want to start with the red and the orange, man. We're just going to mix it like this, back and forth, the crisscross strokes. You don't even look, and you just go. It's looking really nice, actually. Go right into our alizarin crimson, just a little bit. Just kind of dab it, right? And then the more that we mix, the more it's going to spread. We're going to have this nice, soft, little yellowish, pinkish color. Try not to let our canvas just fall out of the easel, right? A little bit of Prussian blue, just the littlest bit. A little bit of midnight black. Don't need a whole lot. We're up here at the top of the canvas, so we don't have a whole lot of color that we can use left, right? A little bit of that makes this nice, like bluish, grayish color. And of course, we always finish the sides, guys, right? You gotta finish the sides, because you never know when your buyer buys it, if they're gonna frame it, if they're going to, you know, hang it where they're walking down the stairs and you can see the top or the sides. You always want to finish them. It just makes it look more like a finished piece than having these bare white sides. Or even if you paint it black, when you have black sides, it just still looks better. It catches the eye a little bit more when you have the sides covered, right? So we're going to take some of that. I'm just going to kind of mix it down in, maybe leave this little light area over here. And again, not a whole lot of paint on this thing. My easel is broken, so you'll see a lot of me holding it like this, right? Get this grayish, yellowish, reddish, bluish, blackish, whitish color. Look at that. Look at that. Just not even trying. That's my favorite part about painting is you don't even have to really do anything. Just let the canvas tell you where to go. Let your brush strokes kind of do it on their own, right? We always wash our brushes in Jasco brush cleaner. Got the old beater bucket here. It's got a golf ball basket down at the bottom, so you can just beat it down on the brush. Right, so if you hear that noise later on, I usually cut out a lot of that during editing, but if you do happen to hear it, it's because we're cleaning the brushes off. We got this nice soft, nice little pastel sort of sky. Always want to have your brush dry when you go back on here. With the liquid white, it doesn't make much of a difference, but especially if you're using liquid clear on a black canvas, always want to have your brush dry. So just get in the habit of cleaning it, dabbing it on a paper towel. That's what we do down here, where you can't see. It's because I'm dabbing it on a paper towel down here. Okay? As long as our colors are blended well enough, you will not take that dark color and run it back across your lighter color. So just try to make sure they're blended out. And again, make sure you have a dry brush. Let me do a different way of making clouds today. Instead of using the 1-inch brush, why don't we use a palette knife, right? Show you guys a cool thing. Cool different ways that you can use these tools. Don't always have to do it the same. What I'm going to do is mix up a little bit of the crimson and the yellow ochre and the bright red just into this kind of darkish. Maybe throw a little brown in there too. Like brown in the sky? No, don't do that. Don't put brown in the sky, Josh. I know, it doesn't make sense, but trust. Trust in me. We go like this. We're just going to run it along, almost like we're making a water line, you know, in a normal kind of Bob Ross way. He makes his water line like that. We'll just run it along, these far off clouds back there. Maybe these ones are a little bit bigger, so we're using more of the palette knife to do. We're just making all these random shapes. Want to have these spaces in between, use both sides, just get it everywhere, right? Get it all over the place. Let me throw one back there, a nice little soft, little far off guy. Maybe some up here. Grab a little bit of the blue, mix it in there so it's just a bit darker. We got this bit of a shadow up into our cloudy sky, right? You don't want them to be real thick, so take them and really mush them in. That's what I'm trying to do anyway for this one. We're just going to mush them right into the canvas, right? You could leave yours like that if you wanted to. Remember, it doesn't have to look the same as mine, okay? We're going to take our clean, dry brush, grab a little bit of the liquid white from down underneath. I'm just going to make little circles out of these suckers, right? And all that's doing, we don't want to blend it out so far that it blends in with the rest of the sky, but we want to have this, what guys, what am I about to say? Come on, all my followers, all you guys that watch all the time, differences in color, right? Gotta have different colors up in there and leave some of these different background colors that we left in there and it'll look really neat. Right, swipe across that way. Come back in with our little palette knife. I use a small one, you could use a butter knife. I started using the plastic knives and they, you know, I couldn't get these to work for me, these Bob Ross knives. So if you have issues with it, do the plastic knife, it works just fine. I'm in, same kind of thing, just gonna mush these on sort of softly. So we have different thicknesses in paint all over the canvas, right? A little bit of that, we can throw some of the red in with the white. Bring it down here, just different colors, right? Different colors. Maybe a little yellow. Different places. Put our white with it. And when we go to mix these out, we'll get these cool, different colors that will kind of stand out in our painting. Take our 1-inch brush again, just even more lightly than before. Just kind of mush these things, just so we just disturb. You don't want to cover up all your dark shadows, or your browns, or your blues, or your reds. Just kind of want to disturb what it looks like. Take a 2-inch brush, go to the side. Bam. Now we've got this cool kind of far, soft, really soft sky, where you almost can't even see the clouds. I've got our bright area over here. And it's looking really nice. Why don't we take some of our red and yellow. We're just going to test some stuff out today because we don't really know what's going on. So we're going to mix all these yellows and reds together. And maybe back here there's like a bit of ocean. It's kind of this nice soft reddish orangish color, right? Almost to where you can't even see, you know, the distinction. Where does the ocean start? Where's the horizon on this sucker? Down. Just a little bit of green every so often. We can throw that in there. There's just differences in color. Blend it out. Blend it out. Finish on the sides because we always do. Finish it over there. Just want to blend it nice and soft. You can take on a smaller kind of filbert brush. Just make our line across a little bit darker in the back, and that way it'll be able to see that there's, you know, a bit of straight line, but as straight as you can get it anyway. Not trying to cover up all of our greens. Actually, we'll put a little bit of that phthalo green in there too. Just very lightly though. You don't want it to be all green. Right? Back and forth, straight as we can get it. Now we got this far off bit of ocean way back there. Now we can come in, why don't we do it just straight here on the brush. Again, we're just making this up, so you guys might not even see this video. If I don't like the way it turns out, you won't even be looking at it. Bit of our blue and our crimson, a little bit of our black. Just kind of mix them right on the brush. Right, kind of pull it down, just chisel it down just a little bit. And maybe, who knows, there's like a bit of some far off grassy something or others that live down in here. And just a little bit of shadow color. Then we can always come back in and highlight it. Maybe it comes up over here again, like a big hill. Who knows? I'm going to wash off the brush because I don't want to drag all that, you know, and add more paint to it. So get our dry brush. We'll just make these little like footy hills, like Bob calls them. Little foothills. Come down. We've got all these differences in color in there because we were tapping them in. Some spots are a little bit darker, some spots aren't. Just want to make sure that your brush doesn't come out of the line. You can change the shape of it if you wanted to. Alright. Let's come in, we'll get a little bit of our phthalo green and the sap green. Kind of mix those together. And maybe, who knows, there's a bit of far off grass back here. A bit of grass that lives on the hill down there. Just sort of leading up to where we are. Don't need a whole lot. Come in with your yellows. Right, come back in, kind of go in with those yellows. Different spaces. Don't want to do the whole thing again. But you just want to have it. There we go. When these things mix together, you get these cool little differences in color. Right, guys? Let's get a little bit of the white, see if we can brighten some of these areas up a bit. Okay, just by tapping them. And sort of blending it all together. These are real far off. It's not going to be the focal point of our painting, right? So just want to tap it down, tap it in. Maybe get a little bit darker green. And we can come in, we can say there's another hill that lives over here. Just so we have these differences in color, right? A little of the black and the green back in here, and we got this bit that goes over there. Totally up to us. A little bit of darker grass, or a little bit of a closer hill, right? Just gonna tap them in. That's all we want to do. Just so we have these differences in greens, right? And they become nice and foggy down around the bottom. Nice and foggy. Make our little circles like we always do. And what do we always have to do, guys? Got to cover the sides. Just cover over them sides. Okay, why don't we come with like a little bit of black and blue. Just right here, we'll make like a bigger, you know, closer up bit of, maybe this one's in the shadow. You can't really see it. Closer up bit. Maybe there's like one that lives over here. Maybe they connect. Who knows? We'll figure it out when we get there. A little bit darker though. Okay. And we're just gonna fog up the bottom of them like I like to do with my fogginess. Now we have these different hills and valleys, all where this stuff gets to live, right? When we come in, we're gonna make up our mountain color. It's gonna be a nice little quick little painting. Just get all these dark brown, all the colors, throw the brown in there too. Mix them up. When you throw the crimson and the greens together, they make this really neat brown. Then we'll add our Van Dyke, or our dark sienna, a little bit of the black and blue. Just make this real deep, dark color. almost gonna look black on our palette, right? And then why don't we come up and let's just say, who knows, maybe this whole thing has got like this big cliff over the top. Right, come down like that. This bit that comes out, maybe comes down over here. And all of this is just gonna be this real dark brown color, so we can just fill it in. Right to the tip top of our canvas. Fill all that in. Come around. And it comes down about to here, let's say. All right, and then we can always have some stuff in front. These little pops, you don't want to have it, you know, all this same sort of color. So let it deposit thicker in some places, thinner in other places. And if we're going to do it, let's cover over the top too, drag some of that up across the top. And of course around the sides, but we'll get there in a second. Come down, just going to sort of pull straight down with these things. Just make it real dark up there like that. Cover over all that side I just did, didn't even thinking about it. Wasn't even thinking. This big old piece of rock or cliff that's up here, right? Now let's come back and get some of our white and kind of mix it in with that same brown. That's going to give us these cool, you know, sort of highlight colors. Put some of the brown in there with it. Mix in some of the white. And then we can come back and we'll just start kind of dropping down these dark brown sort of highlights, right? Might be difficult for you guys to see until we zoom in. But this side is in the shadow, so I don't want them real bright, right? Don't worry if you get these darker areas, lighter areas, you just want it nice and thick and textured. And how we're doing that is, my canvas is pretty much straight up, so I'm holding my knife very straight, okay? If your canvas is on an angle, hold it on an angle. And just come down, just let it drag. You gotta go fast in order for it to drag in different places, right? You want it to be nice and thick, textured. And then we'll come in and get our dark black and blue, maybe the crimson, mix those up together. Don't over mix them, just mix them. And then we can come in and throw in these darker bits of like real dark shadow, deep shadows that are in here. Right? Don't want to over mix. You don't want to overdo it. You don't want to put too much black or blue in there. Otherwise you'll end up, it starts looking really neat and you're like, oh, I keep going like this, and then you end up with this real dark, you know, bit, you've sort of lost everything. A dark bit of rock. What's it look like back here? Looks pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. Again, just going over it, right? Pulling down. Making it textured. So you have all these different globs of paint. You can almost see them from the side. They're so globby. Stay on our edges. We sort of come down and pull to the side at the same time, give it this rounded look. Just like you would do on a tree almost, right? So yeah, it looks pretty good. I'm going to swipe up from the bottom here just so we can give us a little place where we can make some mist. These little misty look back here. And then we're going to come back in, maybe with our phthalo green this time, a bit of blue, a bit of crimson, a bit of that brown. I might have to go back and get some more paint here. Didn't realize how thick and textured this sucker was going to be. As you can see, my whole pile of sort of lime green, this yellow green, is just sliding off the palette. All right, we're going to come back in. We're just going to make some bigger sort of rocks. Kind of live in the front down here. Just by pulling them down, you can make all these little cool different shapes, right? Maybe a bit of it lives over here. Maybe there's a little bit in between. Come in, and maybe there's a sucker that lives right here. Goes down. All we're doing is just kind of mushing it on to the canvas, right? Just in different shapes. You don't need them to be pointy all the time, especially when you're doing real close-up rocks. They're not going to look very pointy, right? So keep the tops of them nice and round. different places. Put some down the side over here. Do some down the side over there, just so we get these different colors. Might as well just finish it down to the bottom over there. But I want to try to keep this little bit of fogginess behind, see at the very bottom corner right here. That's just going to make this rock look closer than that rock is. A little bit darker of a color. Do it like that. Maybe there's a little gap down in between those two. See what we can make a mess of, huh? Take our brush, it's the same kind of thing, just kind of grabbing and going in this little arc, pulling it down. Pull it down, take this one, go the other way, pull it down. Down, down, down to Chinatown. And it's mixing it with all of those different colors. It's such a great, love that. Love it. Just kind of make a little. It's always dangerous to come back behind the rest of your stuff, right? Because if you don't like the way it looks, you have to sort of change something about it. Change the way that these rocks are in the front, or you got to figure it out. All right, we're gonna wipe off this brush. Why don't we come in? We'll get a big fan brush, right? We're gonna get all this white on here. That's the reason why I used all this white. We're going to come in, maybe starting here, we're just going to pull down with this white. There's a whole big bunch of water coming off of this sucker, right? A little bit thicker in some places, further down, further down, further down. Just come down. We can always fix these rocks down underneath. A little bit of that darker color up in here. See this waterfall. I want to leave a little bit of gap back in here. We can always come back and fix this rock too. A little bit of this waterfall coming down like that. Really get our thick, goopy paint coming down like this, right? Nice and thick in different places. I want to get some of my liquid white and mix it with that titanium white, so it just falls onto this sucker. And look at this, we're kind of like scooping it up, dragging it down in these thicker areas. So we get this real misty, sort of crazy looking waterfall that's coming down, right? And again, we could have done it before we did our mountain. I want those bits nice and crisp on the edge. Come back, fix our little bit that we kind of had to mush, the texture of our rock. And we got this cool little waterfall sort of falling down. A little bit of it come down. You mix some of your darker color in there, and you get these, this depth in your waterfall, so it's not all straight white, right? You can take some of the blue. Some of that blue and bring it down. We got this bit of waterfall coming down at us. What I really wanted to do was see how this would work if we took and kind of flipped some of these bits of liquid white, like they're, drops or mist coming off the waterfall. That would make it look like. These little bits that are kind of falling down. We'll see what it looks like when we zoom in, I guess. Come back in, fix our rocks, because I want those to go back behind that rock there. And this rock over here. Okay, so we sprayed in our things. Our little bits of water. We can even come back. We'll get some more white paint out in a minute, and we'll come back and kind of add some more detail to the water. In the meantime, I went and got liquid white and grabbed this kind of lemon green, kind of chiseled it down right on the brush. See if you guys can see that. Then we're going to come in and just with the liquid white, we can add this grass to the tops of these rocks. Different places, right? And our liquid white up into our other greens up here to kind of dab it in. With these little grass-covered rocks over here. Almost like moss. You know what I mean? This little moss-covered rock. Doesn't look too dang bad, actually. Let's grab some of this white. I'm just going to kind of drag down this white. Different places, clean up the palette. Really give this water some texture. See if we can't really make it drag nice and thick like that. This one will take ages to dry. Look at that. Nice and thick. What color do we use the most of when we paint with Josh, guys? White, for sure. For sure, white. Just literally pulling it straight down like we do on the mountains, right? Not trying to cover every bit, not trying to get it into different places, just letting it do it on its own. You get this cool bit of real heavy water falling off of this thing. If some of it's too thick in different places, you can take it and add like have a different look with it. We can swipe it up with this. Just very lightly though. Don't be too nuts. Drag down in different places, maybe have it, you know, a little show through in different areas. Kind of misty look off to the side. It's pretty good. Can't take some of this dark green. Put this down here so we can do the thing. Instead of the normal highlights we would have, you know, being brown or black or white, these green bits of sort of mossy rocks that are hanging out down here. Come back in with this real bright green, give it these looks in different places, different levels, all over the place. Again, the more you try to make it go into a certain spot, the more it's going to fight you and try to turn into mud. So don't fight it. Put some yellow down in here. Let it do what it's going to do. Real super thick and textured, this one. Should have done before, but we didn't. Bit of rock, bit of this, bit of that. Bit of green. Darker green though. And just like that, guys, we got a pretty cool looking painting coming at us. I'm gonna get a little bit of that yellow ochre, just because I love yellow ochre with the brown. I'm gonna put like a little bit. Ooh, that looks really good. Just a little bit on the edge, brighten it up a bit. Don't want to go too crazy though, because like I said, it starts looking good, and then you start really going ham on it, and then you realize you should have stopped a while back. Remember, this side is dark. We're behind, the sun is way back there, so don't go too nuts. Tape might look neat just because I have a little bit of this white left. And a bit of our white, a little bit of liquid white. Let's see if we can't just make this far off. A little indication of this little sun back here. So by mixing it up, pushing the bristles, letting them all rotate outwards until you get this little circle way off in the distance back there. It looks pretty good. I like it. See what it looks like if we take it and throw rays off it. Let's see. What's it look like back there? Not too bad. Running out of brushes. I haven't cleaned. A bit more white. Just kind of rotate it around. I'm going to use the yellow ochre back here. Really make it stand out. Just like that. Alright, watch the brush rotate. Rotate it. Bam. Then you get this cool little, already kind of pre-mixed into these other colors. That's looking good. I wouldn't change anything about that painting. Looks really nice. Got this nice misty, kind of foggy waterfall coming down. Our big mossy rocks up here in the front. Looks really good. You can take a bit of another bit of water. Bring this thing down again. And there's a little bit of water and then it kind of falls off down here. A little pool. Blue for that. A little pool in down here. It's kind of coming down, it's coming through that thing, filling up around the bottom down here. It's really neat. Look neat if we put a little bit of blue in there, just so it's not so crazy. You can always do whatever you want. You can come back, you can do literally anything you want to do. Always change it. Totally up to you. Looks like a little bit of green got mixed up in there too. No big deal. No big dealio. There we go. So, I hope you guys enjoyed painting this one with me. I enjoyed painting it. Share the link when you paint yours. Send it into Facebook so I can see. And, I'd love to see what you guys can do with my techniques. So, it's been fun. We always ramble on too long at the end, so we're going to say goodbye. And hope you guys enjoyed. And we'll see you guys on the next painting. Bye!
You can check out what tools you need to create this beautiful painting by visiting my Amazon storefront. The link is below. Everything you need to create this beautiful painting is located right there. Thank you.
Hey guys, Josh, Happy Little Landscapes back again today. 12 by 12 inch canvas with this beautiful, gigantic waterfall and this nice sunset kind of pastel sky. You obviously want to learn how to paint this painting because you clicked on the link, right? But before we do that, before we get started, check the description down below. You can shop my Amazon retailer store. Is that what she called it? Hey guys, Josh, Happy Little Landscapes. Why can I not nail this? This is amateur hour. Hey guys, Josh back in the studio today. 12 by 12 inch canvas, big cliff, big water. That's it. Can't do it. It's been like 20 minutes. Hey guys, Josh, Happy Little Landscapes back again today with a Hey guys, Josh, Happy Little Landscapes. Welcome back. 12 by 12 inch canvas today. big cliff, huge waterfall, moss-covered rocks. Hey guys, Josh, Happy Little Landscapes, back again today with a why do I do this? Amazon. Dad, shoot me in the face, please. Okay. Jesus Christ, I can't do any more. Maybe one more. Hey guys, Josh, Happy Little Landscapes, back again today. 12 by 12 inch canvas, big beautiful waterfall off in this sunsetty ocean. Hey guys, Josh, Happy Little Landscapes, 12 by 12 inch canvas today, big giant beautiful waterfall, right? Luckily I already have one good one.